Hello, my name is Ben Chappell, and I'm a student here at Brigham Young University studying special education with the emphasis in severe disabilities. Today I'm going to talk about my behavioral intervention video by me. We're going to talk about how to raise your hand correctly in the classroom and the good ways and the bad ways. Alright, so pay attention. Thank you. Okay, so today here we have Mr. Bond, who is our math teacher. He's going to write a problem on our board. Right now, he's going to write any problem he wants, and he's going to ask the kids to answer it in his classroom. So go ahead, Mr. Bond. Go ahead and write your question.
All right, students. What is the answer to 2 plus 2?
Okay, so Mr. Bond here, he asked the question 2 plus 2. Now we're going to get the response from the students. Okay, this example here is correctly raising your hand in the classroom. Thank you guys for raising your hand. You can see here, this is the perfect way how to raise your hand. The mouth is closed, the hand is raised, the other arm is on the desk. Hands raised, hand on the desk, hand is raised, hand on the desk. Their mouths are closed, they're not screaming the answer. This is a great way to answer questions to Mr. Bond's 2 plus 2 question. The one reason we like to raise our hand in the classroom is because there is not a lot of screaming, there's not a lot of chaos. But there is organization and there is quietness, and that's how we learn effectively in the classroom. Okay, so now we saw the example of raising your hand correctly in class. Now we're going to learn about the example of not raising your hand correctly in class. So this is definitely what we do not want to do, but we're going to show you an example anyways. So we have Mr. Bond here who's going to write another math question on the board, and we're going to have our students answer them. Go ahead, Mr. Bond.
All right, students. What is the answer to 1 plus 3?
Okay, so Mr. Bond asked a question here, 1 plus 3. We're going to go to the students now. They're going to answer the question.
Teacher!
It's
I know it!
It's
I got the answer. I think it's 4. I think the answer's 4.
I think it's 5.
Teacher, I think it's 4.
Okay, so we see that is not the correct way to answer a question in class. Waving your hat in the air is not a good way. Leaning back in the chair is not a good way. The reason why that's not a good way is because there's loud noise. Could we hear the correct answer of 4 by Jeffrey or by Johnny? No, we couldn't hear the answer. There was screaming everywhere. So that's not what we want to do. We do not want to have kids screaming out answers and having chaos everywhere because 1, we can't hear the correct answer, and 2, it's just loud noise and no one likes loud noises. Okay, so we saw the correct way and the incorrect way to raise your hand in the classroom. So now we're going to show you the correct way again because that's the one we want in our classroom setting. So here we have Mr. Bond. He's going to ask another question to our students, and they're going to show us the correct way to raise our hand. Go ahead, Mr. Bond.
All right, students.
Here we have Mr. Bond writing some foreign language of a math question here that I can't answer. So we're going to go to the students that know the answer, but they're going to raise their hand to show us the correct way to raise their hand in the classroom.
Yes, Jeffrey?
The correct answer is 15.
Very good.
Okay, so we saw the correct answer here being raised by the hand of Jeffrey. Okay, Jeffrey raised his hand high in the air to notify the teacher, Mr. Bond, that he has the correct answer. Okay, one thing to remember is Jimmy here. Jimmy did not say the answer. He raised his hand. And when Mr. Bond chose Jeffrey to answer the question, Jimmy here just lowered his hand and kept his mouth shut. That's the great way to answer questions in the classroom. Okay, we want to raise our hand correctly because remember 2 things. There's quiet and we hear the answers. No one wants chaos in the classroom. Everyone wants to be organized. Thank you. Thanks guys for watching today. We saw 2 ways to correctly raise your hand in the classroom and incorrectly raise your hand in the classroom. We want to raise our hand correctly in the classroom because we want to show respect to those who need to talk. We need to have organization, and we also need silence because everyone likes silence. Thank you so much for watching my behavioral intervention video. It's by me, and for those in my video, we thank you and have a good day.
Jimmy?